I want to thank you for joining us today at the AWS Summit Online. My name is Adrian Valenzuela, and I'm a Senior Go-to-Market Specialist for AWS IoT. I want to thank you so much for taking the time to learn about utilizing IoT data to deliver better customer experiences. I have nearly 2 decades of experience in tech working with device manufacturers developing connected products, and advancements in IoT functionality continue to enable new ways to improve the customer experiences or to enable completely new experiences that weren't possible before. In this session, we're going to cover a few things, including first, how IoT connectivity is enabling the smart home, review some of the really common IoT use cases, how data unlocks new possibilities, quickly discuss new customer experiences and trends, and for those of you ready to dig deeper, we're going to talk about how to get started. The IoT market continues to grow at a very aggressive pace. According to Transforma Insights, the total number of connected devices is estimated to grow to 125 billion devices by 2030, with revenue from connected products roughly tripling in about a decade. This means there's a big opportunity for companies to develop IoT connected products or connected product platforms. This highlights the need to have the ability to effectively manage your connected device fleets at scale while extracting the value from those newly connected devices. At AWS IoT, we work backwards from our customers to deliver solutions that address the most common challenges associated with deploying IoT devices at scale. We like to say that there's actually no compression algorithm for experience, and our customers are connected hundreds of millions of devices to AWS IoT every day. And through our experience in solving business problems across many verticals and industries, we've learned a lot about what it takes to successfully deploy IoT devices. Our customers are solving problems that transform literally every industry around the world, like Traeger Grills, who migrated 120,000 in-production grills with zero disruptions in just 6 months, and they managed to reduce their IoT costs by 90%. Vizio, who connects millions of TVs and improve the customer experience by knowing the state of all TVs in real time, so they can anticipate when a customer might need support. LG Electronics relaunched its IoT platform and saves 80% in development costs with AWS IoT. And finally, just for example, we have iRobot, who significantly improved the scalability of their platform and easily handles traffic spikes around major holidays where millions of new robot vacuum cleaners are onboarded into their application. At AWS, we see customers solving many of these types of challenges, and we have the experience to help you build robust, scalable, connected products. Let's take a deeper look at some of the really common use cases for IoT. In home automation, for example, this is really the bread and butter of consumer IoT products today. Consumers want their smart products to not only connect to the internet for direct command and control use cases, but also to interoperate with all of their other devices in the home. Using AWS IoT, you can enable any device to connect to the internet and perform a desired action quickly, reliably, and easily. These devices can work alone or together with other devices or hubs for an integrated smart home experience. Additionally, customers can easily produce devices with Alexa built in through our Alexa voice service integration, or add in Works with Alexa functionality through Alexa Skills to add a seamless voice-controlled customer experience. Well, I could talk about these use cases for a while. The other example I'd like to highlight is health and wellness. As the home has expanded to also be our workplace and gym, there are more opportunities to connect personal health and wellness devices. This spans from medical sensors such as heart rate monitors or blood pressure monitors. It could be medication packages that monitors if a patient opens them at desired time or if they didn't. It could be lifestyle healthcare trackers such as smart scales, fitness wearables, or toothbrushes. Those toothbrushes could track your usage and tell you if you've brushed at a particular region of your mouth sufficiently. Other customers like Peloton are also building fitness equipments like spin bikes to help us keep us healthier without ever having to leave our homes. Another area that I'd like to quickly discuss is energy management. There's more to home energy management than just smart thermostats and HVAC systems. Building an energy efficient home also requires making changes to appliances and the systems in our home that are using energy in the form of electricity, water, and gas. Our customers build products that communicate their energy consumption back to the cloud, which can be surfaced as insights to the end customer about how much electricity, say their dishwasher is using on a given day, or if there's been a spike in water usage from a basement bathroom, or it could be indicating a potential flood risk. These insights might also be made actionable, such as scheduling your dishwasher to automatically run at night when energy costs are at their lowest, or by remotely turning off a water valve if you're out of town and you are alerted to a potential leak. So let's dive into the most common issue that companies face who are thinking about releasing a connected product to market. They have to find a way to unlock the value of the new capability that might have an ongoing cost. In our experience, adding cloud connectivity to a product actually creates a new opportunity to add additional value that greatly exceeds the cost. Not only does AWS IoT have a low pay-as-you-go model, so you only pay for what you use, but the new functionality gives you a new way to optimize current and future products. But it also creates new ways to delight your customer. There are three distinct vectors that become available by connecting a product to the cloud. First, we have data for internal insights. Having products connected to the cloud unlocks the possibility to understand how your customers actually use the product, which features are used, what times of day, demographic information, the duration of use. This creates a treasure trove of usage information that can help drive your roadmap for future products or new features. It's also possible to tell when issues arise. What use cases or scenarios cause trouble for customers, which allows you to improve quality and to reduce customer support effort. Designs can also be optimized based on usage information. Certain features or capabilities that aren't being used can be removed to reduce cost. And warranties can be optimized by knowing if products are being used properly. With all this data, it enables you to innovate with new experiences to deliver to your customers. Second, you have data for the ecosystem. Beyond the initial, usual one-time purchase price of a product, IoT data allows you to unlock additional revenue streams with that data to form an ecosystem. The two-way communication channel to a device makes it easy to offer add-on services to a product, such as a replacement head for a toothbrush, which can inform the user when they're getting old. Similarly, you can offer accessories to a product that would further enhance the customer experience. There are upsell opportunities for customers, such as in-app purchases or recurring service programs that you can offer to your customers. You can even offer targeted marketing information from resellers to inform users of sales or promotion offers in store or online. And finally, we have data for the customer. All the data being generated by connected products is ultimately available to enhance the customer experience. It now becomes possible to do predictive maintenance, informing the user of certain parts, like a filter or brushes in a vacuum cleaner, that might need to be replaced soon. Devices can change power states if they're aware they're not being used. And your customer experience when asking for support will be much more streamlined, since you'll have access to the product's current state and usage history before the customer calls. You'll be able to proactively push updates to fix products easily. With AWS IoT, we have the proven experience working with some of the biggest companies in the industry to develop solutions to help you scale to billions of connected devices. AWS IoT services have been developed from the ground up to allow you to have reliable, persistent communication to devices even when they're not currently connected to the internet. Device states can be checked or updated when internet connectivity gets restored. It's possible to push over-the-air updates to upload new software to your devices, which unlocks new features or fix known issues. Over-the-air updates can be rolled out into individual devices, into groups of devices, to have a staged rollout, or all at once. For larger fleets, it's common to execute over-the-air updates in phases. Not only does it reduce the risk if something should go wrong in the update, but it also minimizes the chance of impacting customers by updating the devices at times that are least likely to be noticed by the end customer. Given that AWS has 80 availability zones across 25 geographic regions, with plans to launch 25 more availability zones and 5 more AWS regions, there's a wide selection of AWS regions that are close to your connected products location, which will reduce the latency between device to cloud communication. They will ultimately improve the customer experience by reducing the delay between the time they trigger an action on their mobile app to when they see their connected product respond. Finally, given that devices have a persistent connection to the cloud, it's possible for you to collect device insights to spot the trends in the product, geographies, or demographics to further delight your customer. Let's take a quick look at a real-world AWS IoT customer. Traeger produces the world's #1 selling wood-fired pellet grill. They worked with AWS partner OST to migrate their old IoT platform to connected grills to AWS IoT. They migrated over 120,000 grills that were already connected in customers' hands with zero disruptions to customers in just 6 months from starting. Not only were they able to add additional functionality to the grills, like a predictive recommendation engine in their mobile and Apple Watch app, but they were also able to reduce their cost per grill by 90%. Devices that are connected to the cloud unlock new customer experiences previously difficult or impossible to achieve without connectivity to the cloud. Consumers are now not familiar with and starting to expect the ability to monitor and control their devices from their mobile or web apps. They're not comfortable with setting their home thermostat to the right temperature before we leave the office, or we can check if our spouse has changed the temperature without letting us know. Millions of users now have smart speakers like an Amazon Alexa, which can be used as a way to interact with devices with only our voice using Alexa skills. Interoperability between devices is now possible with apps like the Alexa mobile app, which can act as a hub for different devices that might have come from different suppliers, such as your smart lights or your home entertainment system. So we're making it easy for customers to operate their devices at home in a much simpler way. Customers expect reliable connectivity. Through the use of local gateways or hubs, which might be running AWS Greengrass, it's possible to retain some of the connected experience even when devices are offline. A lot of that IoT functionality can run locally in that gateway or hub so that everything feels the same even when their cloud connectivity is gone for a few minutes or possibly hours. Finally, through the use of AI or artificial intelligence or machine learning, devices can now learn how you like to use those products, and they can become personalized to your preferences over time. An often overlooked challenge by development teams who are working to bring a new connected product to market is the long-term vision to build in the capability to support customers easily when products are actually in the field, when they're in customers' hands. Customer trust is invaluable for consumer products, and when things go wrong, you have the opportunity to surprise them with a phenomenal customer service experience. Because you're able to monitor fleet health in near real time, you can preemptively push updates and patches to devices before customers even know there's an issue. This will result in higher customer uptime for that specific product. When issues do arise, it's possible to remotely troubleshoot those devices through AWS IoT secure tunneling functionality. This gives you access to a device even when it's tucked away behind a firewall. This will ultimately save you time and money by avoiding costly visits from a technician to a remote location, or having to deal with physically mailing a problematic device back and forth. Gone are the days for consumers for having to wait at home for a technician to show up at a seeming randomly time of the day. When customers do have to call in for support, calls should be shorter, since you already have the usage history in the current state information for a given product. No need to ask the customer to dig through hidden support menus or try to reproduce the issue. Let's take a look at another real-world customer example. Vizio has connected millions of smart TVs to AWS IoT to deliver continuous updates and new features to their devices. They also heavily rely on their fleet's health information to help remotely troubleshoot and solve problems for TVs in customers' homes who are experiencing issues. Vizio improved the customer experience by knowing the state of all their TVs in real time so they can anticipate when a customer might need support. They even use AWS IoT security capabilities to quickly identify potential vulnerabilities and can rapidly push updates out to to address those known issues before customers are even aware that something might be at risk. As we mentioned earlier, security is one of the most common use cases for IoT, and the industry has gone through dramatic transformation in recent years. Devices like door locks, security cameras, and water leak detectors built with AWS IoT can use machine learning to automatically detect threats, take actions, and send alerts to home users. AWS IoT enables devices to run with low latency and compute data locally without internet connectivity. Customers like Wise built their entire IoT infrastructure with AWS IoT and other AWS services like Kinesis video streams, and now they've scaled to millions of devices sold worldwide within just a couple of years. They've been able to keep costs low and offer value-added services such as subscription packages to store video data for longer periods of time, and live video streaming is supported through their mobile app. Machine learning is revolutionizing home security and monitoring. This is by being able to automatically detect certain events based on prior activity. For example, you can be able to detect that a certain sound is the window breaking, or that someone might be yelling in their backyard. This was in previous instances, this was very hard to detect, and we were just looking for intensity of volume. Now we can identify the speaker or the type of sound using machine learning. Similarly, for video applications, we can now do object recognition and identify is this a person versus a cat, and if it's a person, do we know that person? Is it someone in the family who should be on that property, or is it someone that we are not expecting to see? Energy management isn't just for your electricity meter. By being aware of not just the real-time energy prices, but also the usage history of specific devices, products can now power themselves down if they're not needed or electricity prices are high, which ultimately saves on energy consumption. Let's take a look at another real-world AWS IoT customer. Era Home Security is a UK-based home security company. They offer services and hardware, and they've recently migrated their homegrown IoT infrastructure onto AWS IoT. Very recently, they started using their IoT data to monitor the device fleet for connectivity issues and anomalous behavior such as tamper events. They actually took advantage of the feature from AWS IoT Device Defender called ML Detect, which, as the name might imply, uses machine learning to automatically detect for potential anomalous behavior that will notify the user that something might be at risk. Since implementing AWS IoT Device Defender, Era Home Security was able to improve their customer experience by meeting over 99.9% of their customer service commitments. If devices ever went offline, the Era team would be notified immediately and able to resolve the issue quickly based on the alarm details. Sometimes they'd have access to reconnect that device if it was in their control, or they could notify the consumer in another way to let them know that they might need to reconnect their device to the cloud. So ready to learn a little bit more? There are several ways to get started. So if you're ready to dive a lot deeper, and want to get your hands dirty, you can schedule an AWS Immersion Day and leverage experts from across Amazon with lots of IoT experience to learn more about our services and accelerate your product development experience. Immersion days range from half to 2-day workshops with our technical experts. If you're ready to move forward with a proof of concept or a full-blown product development from scratch, you can schedule a Connected Products workshop. This is a complimentary workshop with our professional services team where we dive deep into your business problems, identify the top use cases with our professional services team, and they can help you develop a minimum viable product, an MVP version of your solution. Finally, AWS IoT partners can help you deliver a full production-ready solution from start to scratch, and we can help you engage with them to select the right partner that matches your needs. So as we said at the beginning of this session, the IoT landscape is moving rapidly, and legacy systems can impede future growth and innovation. Customers are migrating to a modernized IoT platform to reduce cost, improve scalability, and most importantly, to deliver new customer experiences to their end customers. AWS IoT has the experience to help customers overcome common challenges for connected products, and we can show you how to use that IoT data to unlock new value. With AWS IoT, we help you to accelerate your time to market to develop differentiated consumer products. You joined the AWS Summit to learn, and we can keep that learning going after the summit with IoT resources from AWS training and certification. We offer over 25 free digital courses on demand so you can learn wherever and whenever it suits your schedule. For more information, visit our learning library at aws.training. And finally, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to learn more about utilizing IoT data to deliver better customer experiences. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to reach out to me to learn more. Thank you so much. And please don't forget, please complete the session survey. This information is incredibly valuable for us, so we appreciate your feedback. Thanks so much.